All right, I am live, and I am alive because I had the flu in end of January, beginning of February, and that really sucked for about a week. Absolutely sucks being sick when you're alone, and luckily the flu killed my appetite because I really didn't have enough food in my apartment the last 7 days. So, but anyway, I am still alive. I have one of the things I decided after getting the flu was that I really didn't want to do anything. I just didn't want to do anything, and so I wasn't going to do this at all anymore. But then I went and did the Rumble thing the other night, and I'm like, yeah, I might as well keep doing it for a while. But at the end of the day, I'm like, oh, what the hell am I going to say that I haven't said already? But yeah, so Rumble. Let me mention Rumble because I mentioned Culture Thug on that platform a couple of times, and he hasn't streamed for like 2 months. And then on Friday, I saw that he was going to do his Friday night stream, so I left a comment in advance. I don't know when the hell he was going to do it, like 9 o'clock West Coast time or something like that. I was like, "Hey, man, good to see you back. I thought the feds put you back inside prison." Or whatever. I said something like that. I was like, I thought the feds put you back inside. Glad to see that you're still out, and making content. And so Friday came and went. I didn't have any work, and I went and did cook some stuff or whatever. And I'm not, just doing what I want to do and not really paying a lot of attention. And so I said, oh shit, let me go look at Culture Thug's Friday night stream. Not only did he not stream, but he deleted almost every live stream from his channel. So I'm like, oh crap, I fucking knocked this. I spun this guy out. I don't. It's shocking to me to think that I have that much effect on people. I mean, the guy's in a shitty situation, but who knows? Maybe he can get free. Maybe he can get some freedom. I don't know how all that stuff works, but a lot of these people who are whatever content creators, extremist opinion people are not at all what they appear to be. You know what I mean? And I don't just mean that they're not what they appear to be, but they don't have the character that you imagine that they have. Doing what's fucking scary and hard and fucking never ending is something they want you to think they do, but they don't actually do. Anyway, we're leaving beautiful Dulles, Virginia on a very mild, it's like 40 degrees Celsius evening. And there was nobody down there. And although they made fucking changes in the whole lounge area, they took away the fucking vending machines and they put in weird couches and stuff. And but they had a lot of cookies. I'm like totally fucking cookied out. I've got I ate 2 of them. Here's the third one. You can't see, it's dark. Anyway, I had the classic almond, the almond with chocolate, and that one's the lemon. And I got a coffee. So whatever, there's a bunch of stuff. I got a bunch of videos from like whatever 7 weeks ago or whenever the fuck the last time I streamed was. And so I'm like, okay, I'll do this. And I wasn't going to do it, but then this job came up and I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to be on the fucking road. I might as well do something while I'm on the road. Might as well, do some content, because what else am I going to do? I got fucking 4 hours till I get home. I got 4 hours plus or minus until I get uh, back home. So what's this guy doing? He's not holding his lane. So there's what's going on. There's all sorts of stuff going on. Good stuff, bad stuff. I will say this: the Bitcoiners as a group, at least the ones that I see making content, they're really just too naive. I mean, you could say, James, you're a bitter, you're a bitter old, single dude living a one-bedroom lifestyle in New Jersey, and an anti-Semite, and you're a racist, and you're a homophobe, and a whatever, Islamophobe, and a other phobe, and a this phobe, and a misogynist, and whatever. And you could say all that, and it would bother me not at all. However, Bitcoiners, as much as everybody wants to be like a pretend revolutionary, and they're really not. I do think that's 100% my belief that Bitcoin is going to replace the U.S. dollar as the world's global reserve currency. That is almost certain to happen. And I act that way and I behave that way because having that belief has not only benefited me materially, it has improved my material wealth. But understanding that the basis for elite power is their ability to print money out of thin air, and that has to end first before anything really of lasting good is going to happen. Central banking has to be finished first. You don't have to read the whole Communist Manifesto. You just have to read the 10 planks of communism, and you don't even have to read all the way to number 10. You could just stop at number 5, and that's all you need to do. Read number 5, and you have the basis for understanding what needs to be destroyed and replaced with a better, more equitable system. And once you understand that, all the rest of this is just dopey rage bait. Like the title of tonight's stream, which it took me hours to figure out on the way down here. I'm really running out of these fucking random 3-word fucking titles that make you got to do that to like be clickbaity to catch people's eyes. It's tough to come up with 3 coherent fucking words. I'm just like this is almost random what I did tonight. But I do notice that a lot of the bots, the AI that argue with me online are they're getting better at the rage bait stuff. There's a type of post or whether it's a video or whatever it is, that's called rage bait. So and it works on me to a degree. I find myself getting hooked into this, and I'm like, what the fuck am I having that strong of a reaction to this shit for? And but it's very carefully designed to create Act 3 of the Donald Trump presidency. The Donald Trump presidency from a domestic security state point of view. I said, and I'll repeat just briefly, Charlottesville was Act 1, January 6th was Act 2, and I don't know what they're going to call the third thing, but the third thing, they're looking to do a bloodbath and a race war kind of thing, so they can squash the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment. They're definitely looking to, the race war shit is big. The new Captain America movie with the black Captain America fighting, who's the good guy fighting the evil government led by, what's his name? Indiana Jones guy, Harrison Ford, evil Whitey, so, the super violent black dude has to beat the evil white guy in power. That narrative is going on and on and on and on and on and on. And I got a bunch of videos about it. So I might as well start playing some videos. Let's, if I can, I'm scrolling. Please stand by. And this is another fucking, I'm not seeing the whole. All right, yeah, well, here's Here's one. Here's the first of a couple. So there's our friends from the FBI, the Patriot Front, taking a ride on the metro, which is actually this thing. You see all this line of lights on my left here, and I'm pushing the mirror towards the left. That's the metro. That's like the Washington Metro. This is the branch that goes into the airport. But they all took a subway ride. And you can see they don't normally go in the subway because they were having trouble, marching through the subway. But that was. So that was Patriot Front doing their "we're going to wear masks on the subway." Of course, it was probably after 10 a.m. Like, nobody's there. The stations are fucking empty. Everybody's at their office job in Washington, so they can all meet somewhere and do that. And as per usual, nobody sees where they come from. Nobody sees where they park their cars. Nobody sees where they go. It's amazing how they appear and disappear, like a puff of smoke. Here's another one. This is a short 18-second one of them doing the marchy flag waving thing. So I don't know if they're flying the U.S. flag upside down, which is like a symbol, like America's in trouble, blah 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 blah. But you understand in order to stoke proper racial tension, you can't just have the Proud Boys marching around. You gotta have the purple shirts. I don't know if you guys remember during the Trump 1.0, they had the NBPPs, which was the new Black Panther Party, and they were doing these armed marches, and people noticed that they were marching with airsoft guns. And there was one incident, I don't know where they were fucking walking around, somewhere around Atlanta or whatever, somewhere in the southern part of the United States. And so, like a fat white dude in a Dodge minivan stops and starts arguing with those guys. There's 75 black dudes walking down the street with guns, and some rando fat dude is just going to stop and argue with them. Yeah, sure, that'll happen. But the NBPP, they finally gave them real guns, and they did a rally where they had live ammo, and somebody with a shotgun shot somebody else, and they managed to keep it from being a bloodbath, a disaster, but it didn't go real well. But still, the Alphabet Boys don't give up that easy. And they had a fourth event, and I think they took the leader of the NBPP, and they gave him a stern talking to, and he didn't really like that. He don't like white people telling him what to do. And they did their fourth event, and he pointed pretty sure he pointed an AR pattern rifle at some federal agents on a rooftop, and that was the end of the new Black Panther Party. But they have to bring that back. They have to recreate it, and I don't know what they call these guys. They call these guys the purple drank, the purple gang. I don't know who the fuck they are. I guess they'll give them a name. if you listen to the audio sounds like it was recorded indoors. You know what I mean? The audio doesn't sound like it's outdoors. Trying to make them sound like, oh, they're super militaristic, black dudes with their purple and gold sparkly shirts. They all got a free purple sparkly shirt and a fucking a coupon for a Popeye's chicken sandwich, and they walked across the street somewhere. But the whole idea is to create in your mind, oh, there's a group of angry Negroes about to do something somewhere. They all took whatever money they got paid for doing the march, went to the strip club, and had a fist fight outside the strip club in the parking lot when the strip club closed, or they shot at each other. You know what I mean? If one of them had a stolen Glock, they shot up the parking lot of the strip club after doing their purple shirts march. But that's you can clearly see where this is going. You can clearly see that they are that they're doing this not just in the U.S., but they're doing it in Europe as well. I don't know. There's a Polish Nazis or something like that. I don't know what they're supposed to be, but yeah, that's the narrative. And here's this last one. I just saw this one. This is like a minute long. And as a guy who is currently on the highway, and it's on America's highways, or at least the East Coast of America's highways, quite frequently, this last one, just to me, is the most insulting because it is the most ridiculous of all of them. But remember the narrative of the new Captain America. Patriotic black dudes are going to fight evil whitey, right? That's the narrative. And I don't know what the budget for this video was, but somebody was grossly overpaid for this shit tier fucking piece.
Property taxes, bitch! I own my Get back. I own my sir. Don't do it. I own my Don't man. We got you understand why we're out here? My guys aren't going to get over 21. I didn't get down here. We can get out of here. Okay. And we might need an escort. We got a vehicle right over there, a Jeep. We got a dog in it. Hey, scary mother. It's not worth it. Sir, stop. No! Hey, come on, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. I got the wrong neighborhood. Guys, it's not worth it. They ain't gonna come to y'all neighborhood and do that. It's not worth it, guys. Hey, it's not worth it. We'll get that. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. Back, bro. It ain't worth it. Back. It ain't worth it. Back, guys, back. Bro, it ain't worth it, man. It is. It's not worth it. You know it is. It ain't worth it for these ass people. Hey. Guys, y'all gotta get out of here. It's not worth it. They're leaving. Get that up out of here. Get your bitch ass out of here. Yeah.
Okay, so the Nazi guys are doing their banner drop or their flag waving on some fucking overpass, and then a group of patriotic Negroes confronts them, and luckily the police are there, catching it all on body cam. You could hear the police sirens once or twice, and it ain't worth it. I own my shit, and the Negro saying, I own my shit, like there's a patriotic taxpayer, which I don't know that black people pay that much in taxes, or have that much patriotism. One of the black dudes had fucking dreadlocks that was like down to his fucking knees, like some fat hippie Negro who's probably never fucking worked a day in his life. Never eaten a bite of food that wasn't paid for by EBT. But that's phony. There's no incident report. There's um, and as a guy who, as you can see right now, is on the highway. If I saw something on an overpass, you would I would have to go past the thing, get off at the next exit, then turn around and go back and to try to see what the fuck the thing is. And believe me when I tell you, that's not as easy as you think it is. And that a random dozen black dudes just all saw this banner drop, and they all knew exactly what exit to get off and which back roads to take to get to the previous exit, and then they parked and started a confrontation with the Nazis, who were worried about the dog inside the Jeep. Oh, we got a Jeep over there with a dog inside it, and the windows are rolled up. Like, what? Who the fuck writes this shit? It's just like beyond retarded, And the police, being super reasonable, saying, "Hey, de-escalate. It's not worth it." Yeah, that's pretty typical of American police. It's all just such total bullshit. And this is the narrative. There's, and you're going to see this over and over and over. All this rage bait shit. This one is I'll take I'll take shit that never happened for 500, Alex.
My girlfriend just told me that those Patriot Front guys tried to march through Columbus, Ohio.
Columbus.
Okay, so they tried to march through there with their little hate parade, and Columbus, Ohio was like, "We're not having that," and they threw canned vegetables at these men. I want you to think like you're just gonna go out of your way to act like whatever year it is in the past and get away with it, and you're marching, and a can of cream corn clips your collarbone.
Asparagus.
Just asparagus clips you in the neck, and then what did they do? What did they do about it?
They called the police.
And what did they
And
say?
they told the police, "We've never been met with such a violent response." What did you think, brother? You thought you thought this was 1956? What did you think?
Oh God!
What did you think?
Imagine that you have Patriot Front, you get defeated by a can of kidney beans. It's just over.
Y'all let that orange man convince you it was 1956.
Eggs might be expensive, but canned vegetables are only $1. She's doing a hook shots.
So fake. Look how funny it is. We beat the Nazis by throwing groceries at them. That's shit that never happened. Of course, there's no video of it. Those are two really bad actors, incredibly bad actors, and they claim that the Patriot Front called the police, so they must have stayed on scene, right? And now the police would have taken a police report, and you would know who the Patriot Front guys are because the police would need their names as a victim of an assault. And all those Patriot guys would be doxxed, right? Except, of course, that never happened because the whole thing never happened. But this is, listen, they're going to have global fascism everywhere. It's going to be the excuse to crack down on everybody everywhere, whether it's Patriot Front in America or those dudes in Poland or these guys here. So, the Italians are doing some Italian salutes, and this is, of course, terrifying. And, this is an excuse, is going to be used as an excuse to go after everybody whoever, fucking liked the Free Palestine post anywhere, if you saw somebody write from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, and you click the like button, you are now on a list of dangerous fascist terrorists, because there isn't enough communism. There just isn't enough communism. But everyone's everybody buys into this shit 100%. Nobody sees that this is nobody sees that it's all prearranged, and they're not going to. So what you need to do is understand that this is the narrative that's going to play out, and you're living in a world where people believe this shit is for real. They believe, that if you come down to Virginia, that they're all a bunch of crazy Nazis who love Donald Trump and whatever. And they'll, if you say anything less than glowing about the Mango Mussolini, that they'll tear you limb to limb. And the people live in the Upper East Side of Manhattan, or somewhere, somewhere in northern Jersey in $1 million home are 100% certain of this because they saw the type of videos you just saw. You got everybody, the red team, blue team thing is gonna light up again, and just know that it's coming, and laugh along, and just try to stay out of the way of that. Yeah, but a lot of people just don't. They really don't understand how fucking straight up evil these central bankers and their attack dogs are. They're just, and Bitcoiners in particular, like I said, they think they're hip to the world, and they're absolutely not hip to the world. In particular, they have gone out. Look what they've done to my boy. Look what they've done to my boy. I don't know if you've seen it, but Javier Milei, our man in Argentina, has been seriously compromised. So apparently, a week ago or whatever, on a Friday, Javier Milei on his official account on Twitter endorsed some fucking crypto project called Libra, and it pumped like crazy. There was a rug pull, and then Monday, when people were outraged, Milei said, "Well, you went to the casino, you take your chances," and blah 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 blah. Well, what the hell happened? I thought this guy was a Bitcoin guy. What happened? Well, what happened is this. Where is it? No, this one. Come on, there it is. Hayden Davis, who I am not certain is Jewish, but I think is Jewish. Hayden Davis, the guy behind this rug pull, says he was able to control Javier Milei with payments to his sister, Karina Milei. So Javier's weak spot was his sister. Blood family. He trusts her, and she said do this thing, and he did that thing, and she said that because she was getting paid to say it. And you have to understand that nobody is better than their incentives. Why is someone suggesting you do something? You honestly have to ask that, especially if it's out of character for you, especially if it's has a big potential downside for you and no potential upside. So here's what Hayden Davis wrote. He said, "I control that nigga. I send money to his sister, and he signs whatever I say and does whatever I want." Apparently, the rug pull was for about $100 million. So, what's the point of this? The point of this is this fucks Argentina, and probably it certainly gives an enormous club to Javier's enemies, which are the central bankers. And Argentina is going to suffer for this. Will this guy get impeached? I don't know. Maybe. Is his career over? Probably. But his soft spot, his weak spot, was his sister. And from where I sit right now, 100% this guy was targeted because Argentina is mining Bitcoin and was probably about to adopt it as legal tender. They were cozying up to that idea, but not anymore. And no one's going to make the distinction between, you know what I mean? Like, they're just, people aren't going to think, they aren't thoughtful, they're not waking up, they're not getting red pilled, they're just going to be fucking angry, and they're going to want to throw out the baby with the bathwater. And this type of stuff is happening everywhere, including in the Middle East. In the Middle East, Hayden Davis's co-ethnics, which have invaded southern Lebanon, by the way, and they're bombing it. They don't like Hezbollah because Hezbollah beat the shit out of them in the 1980s. So Lebanon, who says I don't know what their fucking inflation rate is, like 3,000% or some insane number like that. Lebanon's inflation rate is nuts. That's where people were. They were going to the bank and robbing the bank in order to get their own money back. That's how crazy Lebanon was. Anyway, the IMF, is coming to Lebanon saying, "Hey, we'll give you as much money as you want. Just got to kick them Hezbollah guys out," which will make it easier for the U.S. to kill Hezbollah, and it will be the U.S. that kills Hezbollah, even though the country with the blue and white flag, they'll probably take credit for it. But Hezbollah is probably the only thing that can actually defend Lebanon. You know what I mean? So they will lose their defenders. They'll have their shitty, corrupt army that's probably ineffective. And guess what? Tel Aviv gets some more fucking real estate on the cheap, as it were. So this is the lesson you need to learn is Bitcoin and Bitcoin only, and only Bitcoin and Bitcoin fucking only. It's a bitter, horrible fucking pill that is going to have to be swallowed by a lot of people a lot of fucking times until you learn. And, so Malay blowing up and whatever, that whole thing, like I said, it's bad for Argentina, bad for him, but it doesn't affect Bitcoin in any realistic way. The smart people in Central America, El Salvador, our guy Nayib Bukele, who is Bitcoin only, has made a deal with the Trump administration to take the migrants, the super bad illegals, and put them in his super prison in El Salvador. And of course, the U.S. is going to pay for that. And that's going to help Trump out politically. It's going to help out the narrative of, oh, we're cleaning up America and get rid of the immigrants. Meanwhile, it's literally not even going to make a dent. But the U.S. is so fucking happy with this because the Trump administration needs the political points that they are now willing to build a nuclear power plant in El Salvador. So El Salvador is going to get a nuclear power plant, even though they currently have volcano-powered electricity. They're going to get a nuke plant, which is good for them. So when you adopt Bitcoin as your unit of account, and you view the world through the lens of a defined scarcity, not an undefined excess. Not when you look at the world through a Bitcoin lens and not a fiat lens, the world becomes a much brighter place because you think differently, you make different decisions, and different opportunities are going to open up for you. Javier Milei could have had all of that, but he went and fucked it up. So he fucked it up. Does Bitcoin care? No, Bitcoin does not care. But this is still a fight. This is the fight, and both the strongest and the weakest part of this is you, and you need to understand what your weaknesses are, and try to minimize them or make it so that the people who want to keep you in debt slavery forever can't do that. And that's going to be a little bit hard because, even if you're, like I said, the AI thing, AI is the most, the biggest public use of AI recently was, of course, United Healthcare, right? United Healthcare denying people coverage of their health insurance by using AI, and that spawned the cult of Luigi, which is pretty much out of control. Here's what they think of Luigi in New York. This is a quickie, like a 10-second video, but on a deep level, this shows how absolutely desperate people are. Did you see that giant projection of Luigi as some sort of Catholic saint, as a religious figure? That's in New York City, and people are so desperate because they don't see things getting better. You know what I mean? They don't see things getting better at all. This is what you're looking at most of the time. Stuff like this is happening everywhere. The future president of the United States, Mark Zuckerberg, Meta, his company, approves bonuses of up to 200% for company executives after laying off 3,600 employees. So 3,600 employees get laid off, but the guys at the top all get 200% more money, and that's even before the AI really kicks in. And so AI is going to be used to deny you medical care. It's going to be used to make you starving and homeless, and to keep the people at the top even more at the top. And that's the way AI is being used. Despite what they tell you, it's being used to make the world fucking worse. Where's that? Oh yeah, here's another example of how AI is really being used.
You know the story of Lavender, right?
Yeah, but tell the audience so that they know.
Okay,
yeah.
so Lavender is a software that Palantir helped build for the Israeli IDF.
Right.
And when the effort, I won't even describe what it is, but whatever is going on in Gaza started. So after October 7th and the Israeli IDF moved into the Gaza area, they were using Lavender to bomb. And what was explained was that if the software picked the targets, then no personnel in the Israeli IDF could be legally held accountable if the bombing was in violation of international law.
Oh, wow.
So the organizing the software that way completely protects the individual officer from any accountability under the law. Okay. And I'm assuming also some feeling of moral responsibility, so it can protect them.
Right, exactly.
And so it can make the process of genociding children much easier.
So that's the way AI is really being used. When they tell you AI is going to make new medicines and improve the world, it might. I have no idea if it's going to actually make new medicines, but you won't be able to afford them. You know what I mean? You will have lost your job because it just can't afford it. And we're at a point where it's crazy when that the puppets are actually saying the things that we say. It's bizarre when that actually happens. Elon the moron makes the point that Bitcoiners have made for a long time in this clip right here.
If we don't take action, our dollar's going to be worth nothing, and the interest payments, which are already 23% of 23% of all government income, including income taxes, tariffs, and everything, is just going to pay interest right now, and that number is continually rising. So if we don't do something, the entire government budget will be paying interest. There won't be money for anything. No, there won't be money for Social Security. There won't be money for Medicare. Nothing. That's where we're headed. That's what bankruptcy means.
So the richest man, or the third richest man on the face of the earth, who makes 35% of his income from tax subsidies and taxpayer funds, by the way, SpaceX and Tesla subsidies that he's gotten over the years, 35% of his income comes from the U.S. taxpayer, is concerned that the interest payment on the national debt is 23% and growing, and that in future, if we don't get fiscally responsible, there won't be any money for Social Security or Medicare, because I'm sure you know Elon thinks about Social Security and Medicare a lot, especially when he's wearing his Occupy T-shirt. He's like, you look at this and you go like, it's unreal, the level of fucking gaslighting. It's absolutely, it's unreal. And knowing that, and they're not stopping, like they're literally not stopping. The guy, there's the fucking Indian dude, the street shitter that they're going to put in charge of the FBI. I got video of him. When I saw this, I'm like, I blink and I think to myself, am I fucking insane? Like how did they even, fucking come up with this? Like, who wrote the script for this guy? And, but the script writers are they're AI, but I guess it's why they're so outrageous. But listen to the head of the FBI talk about something that's not only out of his wheelhouse, but this is like shit. Here's shit that is never going to happen for 500, Alex.
I think we got to educate people that the Federal Reserve is not a public government entity. It's a private entity owned by the robber barons that started this country, who manipulate the currency to their advantage. And that needs to be tackled. Again, I'm not the economic guru. I just know it's a problem. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know what the solution is, but it needs to be addressed.
So I don't know if you notice, he's wearing a hoodie with the Donald Trump Punisher skull, and he's like, "Yeah, we need to take on the Federal Reserve Bank." Really? This is like, who wrote that for him? That's crazy. The Federal Reserve Bank will be peacefully and legally destroyed when the Federal Reserve note is worthless. And that day is most definitely coming, because the people in charge are insane, delusional fucking parasites that fuck everything up. They always fuck everything up. And now they get to fuck up the entire world at the same time, because everyone in the world is holding U.S. dollars. So that's where this mega fucking disaster is going to happen. And the reality is, nature abhors a vacuum, and something has to step in. There has to be something to take the place of the U.S. dollar, and that thing is going to be Bitcoin, I believe. And if you don't believe that, well, best of luck to you. If you believe you can change anything in a world controlled by central bankers, best of luck to you. But I don't have conversations with people who don't talk about real incentives and how shit's going to get fucking done. You need to incentivize people to do shit for you, especially this hard, scary, difficult fucking stuff. And whatever you promise them has to have value, or whatever you deliver to them must have value. So if your green pieces of paper or your electronic credits don't fucking put a roof over their head, and don't put shoes in their wife's feet, and food in their kids' bellies, and fucking all the rest, if that doesn't work, they're not going to work for you, right? And they're going to go crazy, and they're going to do stupid shit. So you must exchange something of value for something else of value. And the fiat system does not do that, right? The fiat system is a system of counterfeit, where they receive something of value, labor, goods, services, whatever, and what they give you is a paper promise that they make false by constantly inflating the supply. They just had the whatever the January inflation number was hotter than expected. It was supposed to be 2.9. It was 3.3 or whatever the fuck it was. And, like I showed you a couple months ago, the guy Mohammed Al-Arian saying, well, it's not sticky inflation. It's stable inflation. It's actually good that inflation is stable. That inflation is always with us and it's stable. Inflation is a good thing. That's what they're going to try and, how they're going to try and sell it is that stable inflation is good for the economy. And, the economy to them is their stock portfolios, or their asset portfolios, whether it's stocks or real estate or whatever the fuck it's going to be. And this thing is a slow motion train wreck, and it's going to play out the way it's going to play out. So you can go along with it. If you want, you can go along with the program. And who knows, get rewarded, or you could say, you know what, I'm going to sidestep this whole thing and try to do something better. But you have to, you got to make that choice. What is this thing right here? I'm going to click on a video. I'm not even sure what the fuck, what it is, but let me just play the video and I'll tell you what I think on the other side.
We have technology that we can see exactly who's in these locations and buildings. So they're targeting and bombing homes, knowing who and how many children were actually inside. My name is Josephine Gilbo. I'm a 17-year Army veteran. I recently got out of the military last year. Having that background as an intelligence officer and understanding what defense actually is, I can see clearly that this is not self-defense. The civilian casualties is catastrophic. They're targeting homes filled with children. The elite that sit in Capitol Hill sit there and lie over and over and over. I just want to highlight one of the biggest awakenings that I think I've had the last few weeks coming here and lobbying with the senators and the congressmen is just how corrupt our government is. And that anyone that's in the military is simply just one chess piece that they use at their leisure for their own internal gain to protect their own internal assets and money.
So there you have a woman, 17-year Army veteran, calm. She's not hysterical. She's not shrieking. She's just telling you like it is that this incredibly lopsided military action is, there's no way that they don't know what's going on. And part of the problem I think people have with the red team, blue team kind of thinking is you keep thinking that the other guys are good guys. And I'm not saying anything negative about the Palestinians, but historically, you got to understand that it's really just, most of these conflicts are just two different groups of corrupt scumbags battling for control, and the winners just happen to be better at violence. But it doesn't mean that the losers have any sort of morality to any sort of moral victory, because they're as bad or worse than the fucking winners. And this is true to stick. This is a little bit of a reach, but not too much of a reach. With our central banker friends, the Sassoon family, which ran the triangle trade from India to China with cotton and opium, and married into the Rothschilds banking dynasty, was responsible for sending the British to China for the opium wars. And the reality of the opium wars was a lot like Gaza today. Check it out.
There weren't that many battles actually fought, and the ones that were fought were entirely one-sided, just heartbreakingly one-sided. There are instances where Manchu commanders locked their Chinese soldiers into the forts to keep them from running away from the British guns. And so they were just blasted to pieces by the British naval cannons because they couldn't escape. The most heartbreaking image I've seen from this war was in the defense of the city of Ningbo. They're midway up the coast of China towards Shanghai. When the British were going to attack, there was a commander there who bought a sort of a troop of trained monkeys, 19 trained monkeys from a market. And the plan was, and this was, this was a legitimate plan. The plan was to strap fireworks to their backs. And then somebody would go and fling them on board the British ships where they would run to the back. These sort of like terrorist monkeys would explode and blow up the powder magazines and sink the ships. And of course, when the British ships came in, there was nobody who, this was a completely feckless plan to begin with, but there was nobody who was brave enough to go and try to fling a monkey onto one of the British ships. So all the men ran away and they left these poor monkeys who were tied up and they starved to death. And to me, that really is this war in a nutshell.
Okay, so there's fucking Joey Academic. He feels bad for the monkeys, not for the dudes that got locked in the fort. While the commanders ran to safety, but the average Joe or the average Mr. Lee in China was literally locked in a building for the British cannons to fucking turn them into pig mist. The Chinese have, that's what they did to their own fucking people. So you understand at some point people go, well, what fucking difference does it make what I do? Like, who's in charge? To some degree, that's why people become super opportunistic and turn on a dime, because that's the reality they're faced with. That's the reality that they are faced with. So, what else do I have? I got a bunch of stuff. We're like 51 minutes into this. 51 minutes into this. What else? Oh yeah, the other Luigi one. The other Luigi, which I had two Luigi ones. There's which one is it? Shit. There are now fucking people hiring trucks to drive around with the TV trucks or video screens on trucks that are like that are, I don't know, Luigi Vision. So think of how crazy that is. Like they're giving the whole Luigi story in, I don't know, in 3 video clips on a truck driving up and down the streets of Manhattan. And while the protester, I guess he had his first court date or something like that. The prosecution is thinking about bringing the death penalty against him. Man, I don't think they could fuck it up any worse. But luckily for them, for the prosecution, prosecutors have absolute immunity, so they can do whatever they want. They can fail as badly as it is possible to fail, and there'll be no consequences for them. And this is of course a massive fucking problem, because you can't have people with power in government doing stuff without consequence. There has to be a consequence, and there has to be a set of rules that everybody plays by. Because if there's, if it's rules for thee but not for me, it's inevitable that instability, corruption is going to take hold sooner rather than later, and then you're going to be right back to where we started. Be right back to where we started. I'm looking for comments. There are no comments. Of course, I have no viewers, so. I have no viewers at this moment because I've been away, but I'm sure people will see the notification sometime tomorrow, and I guess they'll watch in the coming week. So when you get here, if you're still here after 54 minutes, you really, really need to smash up the buy button. The buy button. What the fuck? Smash up the like button. Whoa, James. Whoa, what are you talking about? And then where's I got one more. Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, this is kind of long. I normally don't cover this because it's shitcoin stuff, but the second largest exchange outside of Binance, because I think Binance is the largest outside the United States, or Binance is the largest. This an exchange called Bybit, they got hacked, and here's the story of how they got hacked.
We've just seen the biggest theft of crypto ever. $1.5 billion worth of digital currency stolen by hackers. So what do we know? Bybit, the second largest cryptocurrency exchange, says it was the victim of a sophisticated hack. The attacker navigated past careful security protocols and manipulated a routine transfer of Ethereum between digital wallets. Ethereum, or Ether, is one of the most popular cryptocurrencies. The transfer needed multiple checks and signatures before it went ahead, but the attackers seem to have masked the true destination and the funds have vanished. Bybit is now trying to reassure its customers and says it can cover the loss if the crypto can't be found.
All of the money is in the wallet, meaning that if even today, all of the Bybit client withdraw, we can give your withdrawals. So no matter what, we will make sure all of the clients' money are safe.
So who took it? We don't know for sure yet, but analysts at Elliptic have linked it to the Lazarus Group, a North Korean hacking collective with a history of targeting crypto platforms. As for the stolen funds, investigators will be trying to trace them and maybe even recover them. But there will be questions about the security of the cryptocurrency industry.
Okay, so there's the current bullshit story. Okay, first off, that has nothing to do with Bitcoin. It's Ethereum. I've played videos that Ethereum, that cryptocurrency, 50% of that computer network is run on Amazon web servers. Yes, that Jeff Bezos, that runs about 50% of that computer network. So that's a lot of control, because the hardware required to run it is extreme, and of course that's by design so that no one can figure out what's going on. So there's super sophisticated hackers that stole all this Ethereum, even though there were multiple checks and balances and blah 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 blah. That was whatever, CIA or NSA or whoever, because Ethereum runs on Amazon web servers. Now, they said some group that you never heard of said it was the North Koreans. Yeah, well, that's hilarious. But sure, North Korea can do this, can hack Amazon web servers. I don't think so. And if they could, they would steal a lot more from. They wouldn't go stealing a tiny amount of fucking Ethereum. If they could hack Amazon web services, right? This Lazarus Group or whatever the fuck they call themselves, or whatever the name is made up, that the Alphabet agency made up for them. If they could really do that, they would just steal fucking dollars from Amazon. They would think of how much money Amazon processes a day, how much U.S. currency they process a day. That's what they would steal. They wouldn't go stealing some dopey cryptocurrency that they have to change the dollars anyway. So they would just steal the dollars. It's all just such bullshit. But people don't understand it. They're not going to make any distinctions, and they're just going to run away from the whole thing, and that's going to allow Wall Street in particular to gobble up as much Bitcoin as it can. And Bitcoin, let's be honest, the last 3 months has been super fucking boring. It's like 95, 96,000, bouncing around there, doing nothing. But boring Bitcoin is good Bitcoin, because as much as everybody wishes it was pumping, those big pumps come with big drops as well. So slow and steady wins this race. And that is exactly what Bitcoin does. Every 10 minutes, another block, slow and steady, and that's how we're going to win. Nothing big and dramatic. All the big and dramatic shit is stage managed from behind the scenes, and and everyone's gonna buy into it. And when they say, "Listen, we got to burn the Constitution to stop the global Nazi movement," or whatever the fuck, whatever they're gonna call it, and go right along with it. So, then we'll have to deal with that, and then we will have to deal with that. But I just passed through the Fort McHenry tunnel, that quite brightly lit tunnel. And so we are passing through Baltimore. We're passing by Baltimore. And Bodymore Murderland, as they used to call it, as it is sometimes called. But it's a little too cold, I think, for anything to be going on tonight in Baltimore. But yes, I lived through the flu. I had serious doubts whether I wanted to do this at all anymore. And I guess to some degree, I think, well, like what more could I say? You know what I mean? I guess it's sort of with some kind of documenting things along the way. The collapse of the American empire, what's really making it collapse, not what the shills tell you it is. It's the fact that when the money dies, people go insane, and that we all wish it wasn't, but it is. And until that whole thing gets to be replaced, the world's going to be as shitty as it is. So you need to focus on something good and something you could do that's positive, legal, and peaceful, in order to not only improve your own personal situation, but give a brighter future, a shot. Realize that when the FBI director talks about taking on the Federal Reserve, and Elon Musk pretends to give a shit about Social Security and all the rest, it's all rage bait, and don't get sucked into it. And if you find yourself getting sucked into it, unplug and go do something else. Go do something you want to do, and clear your head, and actively do something that benefits you, and instead of waiting for the big dramatic moment when everyone finally wakes up and real fascism, this time we're gonna ride the Tesla rocket to planet fascism, or whatever stupid shit you think. You know how that's going to end up. It's going to end up with a lot of blood and bodies, and the Constitution in tatters. And then in Italy and those other countries in Europe, it'll be worse still. But so let's take that banner off. Let's take that banner off, because you need to be reminded to. I think we've left the smash up the like button reminder up there long enough. Is there anything that we haven't covered? Yeah. Oh, well, I don't know. Yeah, here's speaking of fucking Elon and his SpaceX rocket going to take you to planet fascism. This is the level of bad puppetry. This is Elon and Javier Milei at CPAC, that stupid fucking the dork fest of communists who want low taxes that call themselves conservatives, who have conserved nothing. This is Elon and Javier Milei on stage doing stupid shit.
This is the chainsaw for bureaucracy. Chainsaw!
So Elon with the chainsaw there because Javier Milei did a political stunt in Argentina with the chainsaw because the Argentines are colorful and florid people and they like that kind of stuff. And he gave the chainsaw to Elon so Elon can chop up the American bureaucracy or whatever the fucking, not the Pentagon, of course. Heaven forbid, but that's just this, the stupidity. That's just the fucking. It's stuff like that. You have to be reminded that normies see that and they buy into that at various different levels, and you just don't do that. Laugh at the puppet show and go on with your life and figure shit out and do for yourself what you ought to be doing. Anyway, with that, am I done? Am I done? Yeah, I think I'm pretty much done at this point. But here's your reality. Most of what you learned has not stopped the central bankers from taking over the planet. Every government is controlled by them. Every political party is controlled by them. The churches, etc. Everything's been compromised. And you can cry about that and feel bitter and it's hopeless, or you can understand that building something else, is the only solution. Something peaceful and legal that has to be robust enough to step in when the global reserve currency collapses, and the global reserve currency will fucking collapse. Anyway, in the meantime, I am now, an hour and 7 minutes? Anything else I have to say? No. But, yeah, I'm back, at least for a little bit. I did not die from the flu, and life is going on. Anyway, I will talk to you guys again next week.